You ever stop to think about how much of our daily lives involves, well, technical communication without us even noticing? I mean, from reading instructions, figuring out online banking, it's just everywhere. Today, we're doing a deep dive into this surprisingly fascinating world. We're pulling our insights from excerpts of Technical Communication, Global, Collaborative, and Digital Strategies for Technical Communication in the Workplace. It's a Pearson text from 2018. And our mission here really is to pull out the most important nuggets to help you quickly grasp what technical communication is, why it matters so much, and how it's evolving in this, global collaborative digital age.
Exactly. The goal is to give you a clear, actionable understanding. What is it? What are its key characteristics, its main purposes, and what kinds of documents are we talking about? Plus, critically, how that global, collaborative, and digital angle changes everything.
Okay, let's just jump right in then. When you hear technical communication, maybe you picture like a really dry manual
Hmm.
or some dense spec sheet. But the source makes it really clear it's way more practical, much broader than that.
Yeah, what's fascinating is how broad the definition actually is. The source says it's the exchange of information that helps people interact with technology. Yeah, but also advance workplace goals and solve complex problems. So it's really not just about manuals at all.
And this is where it gets interesting for you listening. Think about how often you actually encounter it. The source gives examples like accessing your online bank statements, connecting your tablet in a conference room, even just figuring out how to paste a photo somewhere, understanding instructions for a new gadget, business negotiations. It's truly everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And it goes into really specialized areas too, like a physician explaining heart surgery details, or maybe a government scientist writing up experimental procedures. You even have technical communicators helping producers explain complex medical stuff to patients and families, which raises a good question. If it's everywhere, how does it actually help, move things forward in the workplace?
Well, the source really highlights how crucial it is, especially now, when so many everyday actions depend on getting complex information in a way that's actually usable. It helps experts share their knowledge with people who aren't experts, like the example of a nuclear engineer explaining energy data to Congress.
Right. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, it means technical communication is inherently global now. It's collaborative, it's digital. These documents are made and read all over the world, across time zones, on, laptops, smartphones, everything.
So, okay, if it's that broad, what makes it effective technical communication? The source points out it's pretty different from, say, writing a college essay.
Oh, definitely. It's fundamentally different because the main focus is on the reader. It's what the source calls user-centered communication. It's all about the audience's needs, not, the writer's personal thoughts or feelings, which is kind of a shift for many people.
User-centered. Can you give us a feel for what that looks like in practice?
Absolutely. It's really about putting yourself in the reader's shoes. So the source gives examples like instructions for putting together a lawnmower, or a user manual for a computer, or maybe a report analyzing a problem, or procedures for following government regulations. Every single one is designed thinking first about what the user needs to know or do.
And it's more than just the words, right? The source emphasizes document design is efficient and accessible.
Precisely. Technical documents aren't just paragraphs of text anymore. They're websites, online help systems, blogs, wikis, interactive PDFs, you name it. And the design itself is functional. That helps people find what they need quickly, helps them remember things, helps them actually complete the task. Good design makes it usable.
What about the writing style itself? Clear and relevant, the source says.
Yeah, clarity is absolutely essential. Think about instructions for a fire extinguisher. They need to be understood instantly by almost anyone, maybe under stress. Or a letter from a manager to a client, it has to be completely unambiguous. The information needs to be relevant, direct, no fluff.
Okay, now this part really caught my eye. Information is persuasive, truthful, and honorary based on research. Persuasive, really, in technical writing.
Yeah, it sounds a bit odd at first, doesn't it? But persuasion here just means trying to influence someone's actions or their opinions or decisions. And really, every technical document does this to some extent. Even those fire extinguisher instructions, they're persuading you to use it correctly for your own safety.
Ah, okay, so it's not just facts, it's about getting a specific response or action. The source has this model, communicator as problem solver, balancing delivering usable info with being persuasive.
Exactly. And this is critical that persuasion must be truthful and based on solid research. Any dishonesty, even hinting at it, destroys credibility. It causes huge problems long term. So documents need careful research, whether it's just checking facts or doing extensive studies.
So if there's always some persuasion,
Mhm.
what are the main, explicit purposes when people create technical documents? The source outlines three big ones.
Right. The three primary purposes are to inform, to instruct, and to persuade.
Okay, let's dig into those. First up, informational purpose.
So, informational documents are basically there to anticipate and answer questions, to help people understand something. The source uses a great example, a Citizen's Guide to Bioremediation from the EPA. It's designed to help pretty much anyone understand a complex topic. Uses a clear layout, headings that are questions, illustrations, making it accessible. The goal is understanding.
Got it. Next, instructional purpose. What's a good example there?
Instructional docs help people do something, perform a task. The source uses how to operate a portable fire extinguisher. It's got an intro, a big warning box, explains the parts, and then gives clear, numbered steps using that PSS method. Pull, aim, squeeze, sweep. With pictures, it guides action.
PSS, right. Okay, finally, persuasive purpose. How is this different from what you said earlier about all documents being a bit persuasive?
Good question. This refers to documents where the main goal, the primary reason it exists, is to encourage a specific action or change someone's mind. The example given is a letter from an energy company to a business president. It's trying to convince them to invest in energy efficiency. It uses professional letterhead, a strong opening, lists reasons, gives evidence, and has a very clear call to action. It's explicitly trying to persuade.
That makes sense. Now we know the why. What about the what? What kinds of documents are we actually talking about? The source lists quite a few common ones.
Yeah, there's a whole toolkit, really. Things you probably see all the time in the workplace. You've got memos, those short internal notes, usually on one topic, quick updates. Then email, obviously huge, used for everything from quick chats to formal stuff, often with attachments, still probably the most common. Letters, more formal, usually external communication, often on company letterhead. Instructions, step-by-step guides for doing something, like manuals or quick reference cards. Procedures, similar, but often more detailed, explaining how to do a task consistently, like standard operating procedures or SOPs, very important for quality control. Manuals, bigger guides for products or services assembly, use, specs, troubleshooting. Brochures, usually marketing focused, promoting something but still conveying technical info often. Proposals, these offer solutions to problems, make recommendations, often responding to RFPs, requests for proposals. They argue for a specific approach. And reports, objective studies on problems or issues, just presenting the facts and analysis to help decision making.
Okay, this brings us nicely to that global, collaborative, and digital part of the title. This feels really crucial today. How has technical communication changed to meet these demands?
Yeah, it's vital to get how these three things work together. Technical documents are often written by people from different countries, different cultures, and they're almost always created and shared using digital tools.
Let's break that down, starting with global. What are the specific challenges there and the strategies?
Well, when you're working with global teams or audiences, you run into different customs, different cultural norms. A really key concept the source mentions is face saving, basically, avoiding embarrassing or insulting someone. Different cultures view things like humor, slang, idioms, even how direct you should be, very differently. It's easy to cause offense without meaning to.
Face saving. That's interesting. So how do you navigate that effectively?
This raises an important question, right? How do you communicate effectively and respectfully across cultures? The strategy is really to make an effort, learn about the cultural backgrounds involved, look up communication norms if you can, be respectful, obviously, and specifically avoid humor, slang, and idioms unless you're absolutely sure they'll land correctly. And definitely avoid stereotypes.
That sounds like very practical advice.
Yeah.
Okay, moving to collaborative. The source says this is super common now. What does teamwork look like when creating these documents?
Oh, yeah. Technical documents are very often team efforts. You'll have writers, engineers, designers, maybe marketers, lawyers, all contributing. And collaboration happens in meetings, sure, but also constantly through tech phone calls, email, web conferencing, shared documents. The source suggests practical things for organizing team projects: appoint a manager, clearly define the goals, divide up the tasks logically, set a timeline, maybe use a project planning form. Structure helps a lot.
And running good meetings seems essential for that collaboration to actually work.
Absolutely. Bad meetings waste so much time. Good strategies include having a clear agenda sent out beforehand, making sure people actually prepare. Maybe you appoint someone just to take notes. Summarize decisions and action items clearly at the end. Give everyone a fair chance to speak. Stay on topic and on time. Seems basic, but it matters.
And what happens when conflicts pop up? Because they probably do, right?
Well,
The source mentions managing team conflicts.
yeah, conflict is pretty normal in teams. It raises the question of how best to handle it. It can come from different personalities or cultural misunderstandings or just misreading tone in an email. The advice is listen actively. Really try to understand the other person's point. Use technology wisely. Like maybe don't try to resolve a sensitive conflict over email. Pick up the phone or have a video call. Give everyone a chance to voice their view. Take feelings seriously. Offer criticism, constructively focus on the issue, not the person. The goal is to find common ground and then everyone supports the final decision.
Okay, last piece, digital. How does technology actually enable all this global and collaborative work?
Well, digital tech is the backbone, really. It lets teams work together across huge distances and time zones. It allows communication using text, images, audio, video, everything. And it helps produce documents that aren't just static text, but can blend all these elements.
Can you list some of the key digital tools people are using for this?
Sure, there's a whole range. You've got teleconferencing for virtual meetings, email, still the workhorse for a lot of communication, instant messaging for quick questions. Project management software, like Microsoft Project, helps manage complex tasks. Editing software with track changes is essential for revisions. Digital whiteboards for brainstorming. Web conferencing tools that combine video, audio, screen sharing. Blogs can be used for sharing ideas or project updates. Intranets for internal company resources. And wikis are great for collaborative document creation and keeping track of different versions.
Wow, okay. We've definitely covered a lot of ground here. From the basics of what technical communication is, through its characteristics, purposes, types, and all the way to these global, collaborative digital strategies. So, for you listening, what are the big takeaways? Like a checklist for making sure your technical communication hits the mark.
Yeah, the source provides a really useful checklist. Basically, ask yourself, is this document truly focused on the reader? Is it efficient, accessible, clear? Easy to understand? Does it give readers exactly what they need? Does it use the right format or channel? Is it aimed at the right audience? If it's a team project, was it managed well? Is it persuasive enough for its goal? And is it based on solid research and facts? And fundamentally, does it achieve its main purpose? To inform, instruct, or persuade?
And any specific checks for those global and collaborative aspects.
Definitely. For global stuff, do you understand the audience's culture and customs? Have you consciously avoided things like slang or humor that might not translate well or cause offense? For collaboration, was there a clear manager? Were meeting times set properly? Was a planning tool used? And for digital, are you using the right tools? Are you distributing the document effectively? Maybe using features like images or video to help understanding.
So we've really unpacked this world of technical communication, and it's clear it's way more dynamic and essential than just, writing manuals. It's really about clear, purposeful communication that puts the user first, and it's constantly adapting to this interconnected world we live in.
This deep dive really underscores that effective communication isn't just what you say, it's how you say it, who you're saying it to, and why it actually matters. It demands thought, empathy, and skill.
So what does this mean for you? Well, the next time you're reading instructions, maybe for a new gadget or filling out an online form, or even just drafting an important email for work, maybe take a second to think about the careful craft, the technical communication choices that went into making that information usable for you.
Yeah. And here's a final thought to maybe mull over. How might deliberately applying just one of these ideas, maybe thinking more about being user-centered or considering that face-saving concept for a global audience, how might that change the way you approach your next piece of communication and maybe make it that much more effective?